Hello, my name is Marie and welcome to my channel. If you are new to my channel, it's great to have you here. I'm glad you came back to watch my video, and please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of my new videos. And also I will be grateful for that. Thank you. In today's video I have prepared for you my favorite dish from my country, and it's called Knedlo, vepro, zelo, and that is dumplings, pork and cabbage. But instead of pork I'm gonna be using chicken because I do prefer that for this particular meal better. You can of course make it with pork instead. If you don't like chicken, just use different seasoning for your meat. Today is my first video where I'm gonna cook. I was worried that I might mess something up, but thank God all went well. I made this meal for some of my colleagues from my work when they came over for fellowship, and they enjoyed it, and that made my day. The dumplings I'm making in this video are usually made in different way, but I wanted to make it a bit easier. Every time when I come home for holiday, my mom asks me, what would you like me to cook for you? Even though she knows I'm gonna ask for this meal. And it's funny because wherever I go visit my family in Czech Republic, everyone knows this is my favorite food, and they always make it ready for me before I come for visit. So that is really good because, you know, it means they really do know me. I want to talk to you today about who we are in Christ. So let's get started. Who are you in Christ? If you recently accepted Christ as your Lord and Savior, congratulations and welcome to your new life in Christ. You are Christian, which means a little Christ. And the Bible records that the followers of Christ were first called Christian in Antioch during the book of Acts. In Acts 11:26, it says, "And when he found him, he brought him to Antioch. So for a whole year Barnabas and Saul met the church and taught great numbers of people. The disciples were called Christian at first at Antioch. It was intended at first as an insult, but when the Christian heard it, they loved it so much they kept it as their own." Little Christ, that is our target in our life, that we would become like Christ. Understanding who you are in Christ will give you a strong foundation to build your life on. Knowing who you are in Jesus is the key to successful Christian life and life lived on purpose. Your identity doesn't depend on something you do or have done. Your true identity is who God says you are. Once you choose to follow Jesus, you become a new creation. The old you passes away and you become who you are in Him. Please stop living out of who other people say you are and take hold of the truth of God's Word. Find out what God says about you and agree with Him. Because you are in Christ, every one of these statements is true of you. You are a child of God. In John 1:12, it says, "To all who believed him and accept him, he gave the right to become children of God." You are a joint heir with Christ. Since we are his children, we are his heirs. In fact, together with Christ, we are heirs of God's glory. You are a new creation. In 2 Corinthians 5:17, it says, "Anyone who belongs to Christ has become a new person. The old life is gone, a new life has begun." You are complete in Christ. In Colossians 2:10, it says, "You are complete through your union with Christ, who is the head of every ruler and authority." You are chosen. In Deuteronomy 7:6, it says, "For you are people holy to the Lord your God. The Lord your God has chosen you out of all the peoples on the face of the earth to be his people, his treasured possession." You are accepted. In Romans 15:7, it says, "Accept one another then, just as Christ accepted you in order to bring praise to God." You are loved unconditionally. In Romans 8:39, it says, "Neither the height or depth nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God that is in Christ Jesus our Lord." To live an affecting Christian life, you need to know and believe who you are in Christ. Understanding your identity in Christ is crucial to living life as God intended. Train yourself to say the same things that God says in his word. Become who you already are in Christ. God wants to do more in your life than you imagine. I know from experience that sometimes it's not easy to accept all that Jesus is offering to us, or who we are in him. And that's because you feel filthy, unworthy, guilty, and all of those horrible names you can find about yourself, what you have done. And you can also say, "How can I be loved after what I have done?" And as I'm writing all this, I can tell you I am saying to God, "How can you, Lord, love me after all I have done?" There is only one answer to this, because his love is unconditional. And I wish you could see me now, because I am smiling and I have tears in my eyes. In John 3:16, it says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believed in him should not perish but have everlasting life." This is why you can be sure there is nothing in this world that can separate us from God's love. He sent his Son to die for you, for your sins that you have done, so you can be with him in heaven. I loved when I heard that the angels are having party in heaven because of new believers. But that time I didn't understand, because I was one of the new believers. But they explained to me that when a sinner is repented of his sins, the angels are rejoicing. That means when you accepted Christ into your heart, the angels are throwing a huge party in heaven because of you. But if you are not Christian and you would like to, if you want to accept Christ into your heart and life, I will leave the sinner prayer at the end of the video for you. If you want to accept Christ into your life and into your heart, I would like you to repeat after me this sinner prayer. Lord Jesus, I am sorry for the things I have done wrong in my life. I know I am a sinner. I ask for your forgiveness. Right now, I turn away from everything which I know is wrong. I believe you died and rose again on a third day. Lord Jesus, I accept you in my life and in my heart, and thank you for forgiving my sins. Amen. I encourage you to start reading your Bible and learn all those words, the names that God gave you. I want to tell you one more thing that I left till last for you, and that is that you are the apple of His eyes. That's how much He loves us, and He said we are the apple of His eye. And that's all I have for you. I hope to see you all next time, and have a blessed day.